We're coming to the first year of migration of Prophet to Medina. And this is where the many tribes who were now thinking sympathetic towards Prophet, they invited to come, and Prophet will give, they will give protection to Prophet, but he refused. He was waiting for a clear sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we know, prophets are not allowed to leave till that God give them the permission. So when this thing was noticed by the Quraysh, that this Islam is taking fold and strength in the neighborhood, so they called a meeting, and in which they made a plan how to take care of Prophet Muhammad. And this time, the leaders of named Atba, Abu Sufyan, Jubair bin Mut'im, Nadar bin Haris bin Kalda, Abu Bakhtara ibn Hashim, Za'ma bin Aswad bin Matlab, and then Hakim bin Hizam, Abu Jahl, Nubiya, Mamba, Umayyah bin Khalaf. All these were gathered, and these were all the tribal chiefs. They were making different plan how to do it. Among them, Abu Jahl, he is the one who suggested accordingly. The shaitan appeared to them, and he says, I want to have a meeting attend the meeting, and they would not allow. He said, I have an advice for you where you can take care of Muhammad. They said, well, come in. When he arrived into this place, Nadwa, there's a counseling or consultation place, the chamber where they were meeting, he said, I have a plan for you. None of you can have a better plan than that. He said, what? He suggested to them, why don't you all take one young man from your tribe and surround the house of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all of you jump suddenly in and stabbed, and everybody will be blamed for killing Muhammad. And when he is dead, his family, Banu Hashim, when will ask the revenge, they cannot ask from all the tribes, so they have to settle the case. So this was a plan, and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was aware of it. Allah told him. Prophet invited Ali, and he said, Ali, you sleep in my bed. And even though the people of Mecca did not believe in Prophet as a messenger, but they trusted him with honesty and truthfulness, they will leave their valuable possession, like people put safe deposit box, jewelry and wealth when they travel. So Prophet said to Ali radiallahu anhu, who was his young cousin, who embraced Islam with him at the age of 8 or 9, now he's about 13 years later, we are seeing him that being a young man of 20, 21 or 22 years age, and he slept on the bed of Prophet. Prophet said, sleep on my bed. And somebody asked Ali, what was the best sleep you had? He said, the night when Prophet told me that I have to wake up next morning to give possession to the people, return their belonging and leave the city. He said, they said, why? He said, because I was told the next day I will wake up to give it, so I know that I'm not dying that night. So this is one of the things of the belief of Ali radiallahu anhu. He took Abu Bakr and he went to his home and he talked to him. He said, I want to talk to you in private. And this narration has been quoted by his wife, Aisha, who was about 9 years age or what, so or 8 or 9 years of age, or some according to that she was older than that, because when she got married, some says she was 9-year-old, some say some historical account says she should be more than 9 or 8 years, because when she was married she was about to be 16, so it was 2 years after arrival to Medina. So this was the last year, so that we are about 13, 14 years, teenage person. Anyhow, so she described it in very much detail about her. Prophet came in and he said, Abu Bakr, I need to talk to you. Allah has given us permission. I have to travel. And then they were planning to leave. Abu Bakr had already saved 2 camel, and they were supposed to be used for journey. And Prophet said, I'm going to pay for my camel. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, I want to give it to you. He said, no, you have to take money. So Prophet paid him for the camel which he had kept. And Abu Bakr's older daughter, she also was there, and she embraced Islam. And Aisha radiallahu anha, Asma was her name, Asma, daughter of Abu Bakr. And there was a son named Abdurrahman, and his wife was not Muslim then. So Prophet ﷺ gave them the money of the camel, and they decided to travel. So night before travel, and the night the Prophet came to his house, and they left, and they went to south of Mecca instead of going to north. And they went to a mountain known as Thur. Mount Thur, there was a cave there, and Prophet and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, they actually were there for a few days. And the plan was that Asma radiallahu ta'ala anha, the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the older one, and her and his son Abdul Rahman, they would bring the goat, the flock, walking in the desert so nobody could track their footsteps, and they would bring the food for them for a few days. And this time, when the next morning when the Meccans woke up, they found that Prophet Muhammad is missing, he's gone. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is gone. So they went out to find him, and their plan was to, if we find him, we will chain him, we'll prison him, we will do this and that, na'uzubillah, all the plan. And they put a reward of 100 red camel. They was considered to be like Rolls Royces of today. So that was a reward for that, whoever bring Muhammad back will be given 100 camels, red camel, as a gift. So all the people went out looking for it, and Prophet was hiding in this with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. It was a very, very emotional experience when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, when he came to the place which is a mountain, he said, Prophet, wait, before you go into there. He went in, and to make sure that it's safe, there was about 100 holes in that area where some snake or some as poisonous insect would come and attack. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he went in, took off his clothes and tore it apart, put it in each hole, and finally one hole was left. So what he did was he carried Prophet on his back from the ground all the way up to the hill and or the mountain, and then to the cave. And he said, Prophet, sit here, let me go and clean and prepare the room. And then he said, Prophet, come inside. What happened, he did is, only one hole was not closable. So what he did is he put his foot on her in that hole, that if any animal or snake comes out, it will bite him. So apparently when Prophet was sleeping, and a snake was in there, and it came out and it bit on his foot, and it was very painful. And the miracle happened is that when it was so painful that he had tears in his eye, but he didn't want to wake the Prophet. But when the tear fell down, the Prophet felt it, and he woke up. He said, Abu Bakr, what happened? He said, something has bitten me, maybe a snake, because that was my foot pain hurting. So Prophet took his saliva and put on it, and it healed him. And this is what a very, very unusual experience of that. And Quran was revealed that Sani Isnain fil ghar. There was a verse was revealed about that honor, that Abu Bakr was the one who was called a companion of the Prophet, who was with him in the cave. So Prophet and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, they were in the cave for a few days, and the Meccans came around, and one of them came so close that he could, if he had looked down on the ground, he would have seen them hiding under the cave. But Allah has done a miracle that a pigeon came in and laid the egg there, and a spider made a web. So this is a well-known story about that. They saved Prophet. So Muslims are very kind to pigeon, that they made a nest and they laid the egg, and the people thought that if there was a man going through this, it would have been broken, so they did not look further deep down. And Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala was very scared of the life of Prophet if they capture him. So the Prophet said to him, calm down, do not fear, Allah is with us, and we are not just escaping, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saving us. So then what happened was that they went down further down under the southern road, and there's some information about it. I would like to share, let me see if I could. Let me see, what can I share with it? And yeah, this is the portion I think I can share. So this is the map of migration of Prophet, if you could see. And this map, if you could see, this is coming from Mecca, coming down to Jabal Thur, and from there Prophet took the green path, which is opposite the routine path, which is from Mecca to Medina, the red path as we see the line, and the green path. You can find this map on the Google, and you could see that there is a place. So after staying there for a few days, Prophet started walking up to the north, going through the circle near the Red Sea border. And when they arrived to this place known as the Ma'bad, there was a tribe, desert people living in a camp, and this lady, his name was Ma'bad. Ma'bad was the one which is very unusual miracle happened with the Prophet when he was there. That they were hungry and thirsty of the food, and there were people who were all over looking for them to find them and capture them. So Ma'bad did not know who he is, but she liked the appearance of Prophet, was very graceful and beautiful person, and she had a goat. And she had a goat, but the goat did not have much food or milk in there because it was dry, udders. Prophet ﷺ asked her permission and touched the udders, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala filled it with the milk. That was the miracle he did it there. And they drank, and they offered her, because they were also hungry and they didn't have much food, and offer food to the milk of the goat to the children. And the goat became very energetic and healthy because of the touch of Prophet to that. And when Prophet left, they did not know much about him. So when later on her husband came in, and husband asked her what happened, and this is what she explained to him, that this man, the most enlightened man with the face of Noor, came in, and he is the one who did this miracle, and he did not know the name. So they said that was his name was, she said some name for her Prophet. He said, yes, the one with the enlightened face, the man with the face of Noor. So her husband and her, with the child, they went in Medina later on and found that Prophet was there, and she recognized him. She said, this is the man which we're talking about, and people were coming around Prophet. So this was very, very detailed lectures about it. But anyhow, then Prophet ﷺ went up to the Jaffa, then to Badr, and then further going on towards the path, and arrived to Uqba. And that's where Prophet stayed. And after that, he arrived there on a Monday. It was 12th of Rabiul Awwal, and then he came to Medina, and first thing he did there was establish a masjid, and that was Masjid al-Nabawi, and he made some quarters for himself and his family, and later on his daughters and family was invited, and there's a lot of details about it. You have to read about it, and it is very unusual experience which we get. So we see a lot of emotion and a lot of a spiritual experience where Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu was with Prophet. And at one place there was a situation where there was a man, when he heard about that, Suraka, his name was Suraka, he was a very good horseback rider and a sharpshooter and arrow thrower, spear expert and sword expert. And he heard that there are 100 camel being offered for capturing Prophet Muhammad and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Suraka bin Ja'sham or Suraka bin Malik, these are the two names referred in the history about him, but Suraka was his name, and he came to find out, and he got in his horseback without telling anybody, secretly got up and tried to chase Prophet and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, who were going in the camelback, and Abu Bakr saw that somebody is very fast coming on the horseback. So Prophet says, do not be scared, Allah will save us. As he come near Prophet, his horse front legs would get buried in the sand, and he would fall off his horse. And then he would look and stop, then the horse will get relief. He climbed back on the horse, tried to come back again. As soon as he come near Prophet, his horse would get buried into the sand. This is the third time when it happened. He come to realize that this is not an ordinary man, this must be a special event. So he came to the Prophet, he says, I'm sorry, and I apologize, I will not hurt you, but I need your promise. When you become powerful, you will not punish me. Prophet said, Suraka, what will be the time when you will wear the bangles of the king of Persia in your hand? And he gave him a written note that you will be saved or pardoned when Muslims become powerful and control the place, or they will become in power. So Suraka was a very unusual story. When he was about to die, and it was Prophet had passed away, Abu Bakr Khalifa came and passed away, and Umar radiallahu ta'ala, when he was the Khalifa, at that time somebody brought the news, Suraka is on a deathbed, he barely about to be to breathe and he will die. Abu Bakr said, don't worry. Umar radiallahu ta'ala says, do not worry, he's not dying. So they said, how would you know? He said, he's not going to die till he wears the bangles of the emperor of Persia. And that is the war going on in the Qadsiya. Muslims were fighting with the Roman, for the Persian, and that's when the treasure of the emperor of the Persia came, and Prophet Abu Bakr, Umar radiallahu ta'ala asked that bring the bangles of emperor, and they could not find it. They turned the whole treasure upside down. Finally they found in the bottom of that thing there's 2 bangles, and they were the emperor of the Persians, golden bangles. Men are not supposed to wear bangles, but this was the Prophet's promise to Suraka. So when he called Suraka, he said, where is Suraka? They brought Suraka. Suraka was almost dead, laying in the bed. He said, Suraka, these are the bangles which my Prophet promised you, and wear them. And when he wore them, after that he passed away. So these are the very unusual experience of miracles happen in the life. And then we see that the Prophet arrived to Medina, and when he arrived to Medina and he found the land, and he first place where he prayed for a few days, and that was the place, the Masjid Uqba is established there, and they have still the ground there, and the masjid is there, and a lot of significant historical account is there which happened 1500 years ago. Then Prophet, after 2 weeks waiting there, arrived to Medina, and when he was arriving in Medina, there was everybody's desire was that the Prophet should come to us. So people would come every morning, and they wait in the morning looking towards the south and waiting for the Prophet to arrive. And it happened for about a week or two. Everybody knew in Medina that Prophet was arriving. So everybody would gather, the men, women, and children. And finally one day they saw there was another man who went to capture Prophet with his tribe. When he went with his tribe, and apparently when Prophet offered him the Islam, and he accepted Islam rather than killing, then he became a Muslim. And then what he did was very unusual thing. When they were about to enter to the city, he said the Prophet of God should not enter like a escaped or a refugee. He should enter like a leader. So what he did was he had brought about some people with him. So he made them lined up like as on the horseback, and he took his turban and put it on his spear and made it as a flag, and Prophet was behind them. And when they entered, they saw that this man who has become the follower of Prophet rather than being the one who wanted the reward of the capturing of Prophet. And when he arrived, his entrance was so unusual that people of the Medina, they start singing and reciting this poetry. طلع البدر علينا من ثنية الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داعي. That the moon has risen from the valley of Wada, means that was the way coming from that. طلع البدر علينا, upon us, the moon has risen up upon us from the valley of Wada. وجب الشكر علينا, it is obligatory upon to be thankful to Allah for this beautiful event. وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داعي, that what a beautiful inviter Allah has appointed for us to be accepted and followed. In other words, they were praising the coming of the Prophet, and this is what is being a very popular song you can hear. طلع البدر علينا من ثنية الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داعي. So it is obligatory upon Muslim to be thankful to Allah for sending Prophet Muhammad to our way to be followed and to be celebrated too. And then Prophet, when he arrived in Medina, many important events happened. One of the Jewish tribal chief, his name is Abdullah ibn Salam, he was a scholar, and when he saw the face of the Prophet, he said, this man cannot be the liar. Then many people who came, they did not know who is Abu Bakr and who is Prophet Muhammad, because they both were sitting there. So Abu Bakr realized that people are coming to greet him first, thinking he's the Prophet. Abu Bakr, out of respect, he stood up and put up a little cover on the Prophet as if he is the Prophet. And that's what happened. People then recognized the Prophet because he would look so simple and so common in appearance that people cannot tell who is who. So that's how his presentation was, that he would not sit among them like he is above everybody. And people started embracing Islam, greeting, celebrating women and children. So when he was coming around to the place and he saw the women and children and girls and boys are singing, so Prophet asked them, what do you say? They said, we love you, Ya Rasulullah, we love you. So Prophet ﷺ smiled and bent over towards them from the camelback, said, I love you all too. So Prophet shows his love and affection towards the children, towards the girls and boys and all the people. They were celebrating and a lot of things. Then among them there was a one man, his name was Abdullah. He was the chief who was about to be crowned before a few months before the Prophet's arrival, but then things have changed for some reason. It was delayed, his coronation and whatnot. So he saw that Prophet is here now, he's going to be the next chief. So he started actually enviousness towards Prophet, and he was one of the chief of the hypocrite. This is the Ras al-Munafiq. In Arabic, Ras means the head of the hypocrites. And he would do is what? He would believe in Allah, but he would not believe in Prophet ﷺ. And the Munafiq is a third category developed in Medina, which was not there in Mecca. Mecca, either there's a Muslim or non-Muslim. They were openly Islamic or non-Islamic. But in Medina, there's a whole group of people who turned because they were jealous of Prophet's arrival. They thought that they will lose their station of the kingship or crowning or whatnot, and they were basically had no choice because everybody was following Prophet, but they were just jealous of it. And so anytime Muslim have any good news, they will be angry. Muslim have a hardship, they will be happy, and they will use the insulting and derogatory terms and degrading words for the Prophet and his companion. So this is in coming Surah Baqarah, which will be coming next to read. We will hear about there are the three categories of people are described in the Quran now. Up till now, there was a Muslim and a mushrik, or a kafir or believer. Now there is a third category, which is hypocrites, which has been mentioned. So, and this is a very unusual experience which we are talking about.